Want to create a killer mix series that gets millions of plays and turns into gigs worldwide? The Decade mixes are one of my favourite mix series ever. They're created by an act called Flight Facilities from Australia. And the new mix has just dropped. How exciting. So today I thought I'd look back over this series and talk about this mix series. I'd also talk about Soundcloud and how a great mix still today can massively help your DJ career. In this video I'm going to show you the 5 things that Flight Facilities have done really well with this series and how they've built it over the years. And then I'm going to give you the tips to show you how you can do this from home. Let's dive in and look at exactly what they've been doing with this series. It's crazy. If you're new to these Blueprint series, this is where I talk about bigger artists and look at what they're doing essentially really well across different channels. We've looked at Patrick Topping and Viviana Casanova and Hannah Lang and Rewire and Frankie Wah across YouTube and Instagram. And today I thought I'd mix it up by looking at SoundCloud and YouTube with Flight Facilities. On this channel, if you're new, we give you the tools to dominate the online music scene and really give you the blueprint to help you grow as an artist. So let's talk about Flight Facilities and in particular these Decade mixes. For those that don't know and haven't listened to them, it's a series that launched many years ago. And they essentially started the series basically working from 1962 to 1972 and the decades that followed. So 72 to 82, 82 to 92, 92 to 2002, 2002 to 2012. And I guess they launched them somewhere around 2013. That's why they did 2012. Or maybe 2003, and that's where they went back from 2003. I know they launched the first block, 62 to 2002, in one go. And that's possibly why they're on the second year of the decade. But it could have been completely earlier and it could be different pattern. And if you know, the real geek in me would love to know why this happened. So let me know in the comments. Anyways, excitingly, the new one has just dropped 2012 to 2022. I actually tweeted last year thinking it might happen. And they actually stated they've been working on this mix since 2016. That's a long time. They also said this new mix contains 78 tracks, 60 news and culture snippets, 240 audio tracks in a session in their Ableton, 1 catastrophic computer crash. Oh man, heartbreaking. The mix was so nice they made it twice, they said. And for those that don't know, basically the mix series follows the years in a decade and it has news clippings and the tracks, but it follows it in chronological order as you listen to the mix. So you literally go through time and tracks in that mix. They're truly wonderful. So let's look at this series. Step 1. Firstly, I'm going to start with the idea of the series. I absolutely love that they've got a concept around the series, and this doesn't really happen so much anymore. Maybe it's an older thing, maybe that's why I love it. We've had DJs on our data transmission radio station come up with series for their radio shows. I know one DJ did it around record labels, and each mix would be going through tracks from certain labels, and that was each week of their show. Great idea, love that. I really like the theme of the decade mixes as well. It really gives you something that's shareable. And also, it's shareable as the concept. People will say, have you heard those decade mixes? And then you'll learn the artist off the fact that it's got a brand around it, essentially, even though it's a small one. And that can basically bring people into the artist, or vice versa. They might know the Flight Facilities, and then they'll have to go, have you heard their mixes? And then you learn about the whole series. Also, by having a series like this, where you're digging back, it makes you dig into records, but also you don't have to wait for new records. You can basically start working on it and work it in your own time, and then release it in your own time and have a plan around it. Obviously, you can totally come up with series for yourself. I mean, this series, they're like disco and house. You could totally replicate it from a drum and bass point of view at home or a techno point of view and do it your own way. Or maybe just pick random years. Maybe the year you got into music. Maybe you look at those years. Maybe you look at the year you were born or the music you started producing. Step number 2. The big thing with this mix, it's not just about the music, it's about the kind of chronological order and the new snippets and adding that extra little something to that mix to make it even bigger. And like I said at the start, they have so many tracks packed into this, and they've obviously done it in Ableton because of the way it's put together. Hugo and Jimmy, aka Flight Facilities, put so much time into these mixes that they are going to get more plays because they're well crafted and you wait for them. And for me, that's what takes you to that another level. And I absolutely love it. This will be a lot down to planning, research, and thinking about the series as a whole. More than just going through the latest tech house bangers. And maybe that's a result. Maybe that's a result of so many mix series now that everyone's asking for mix that you just throw one together. Instead of just thinking about a series for yourself that just lives on your own channels. But the results speak for itself. Some of these mixes have got hundreds of thousands of plays and people are requesting them way in advance of the next one coming along. The fact that we've got to wait now till 2033 at least for the next one is such a long wait. But these mixes still become your calling cards as DJs. And when you have an idea as powerful as this and a branding as powerful as this is going to bring you more gigs. And it's so evergreen that it's just going to keep delivering plays over and over and over again for a long period. Step number 3. The big thing about this new mix is anticipation of waiting for it. Like I said, the next one's not coming until 3033, but when you start getting near to that, you'll be starting thinking, are they going to put one out? Is it going to happen? And you start getting building up to it way in advance. And this is what happened with this mix. It's been aware that it might be happening for a while, and you get ready and you kind of get excited about it, and then you can't keep looking for it. But then that's also bringing traffic back to flight facilities and their new music they're releasing, maybe it's new productions they're releasing. And let me know in the comments if you still think it's possible to start these. I definitely think there's 3 strategies when it comes to a mix series. There are your everyday mixes, the ones you do for other channels that are going to bring people into you. There are your own series. Maybe you do it via a radio station like Data Transmission Radio, and we're accepting new hosts all the time for shows. This is very popular because obviously attaching yourself to a brand like Data Transmission is going to help you leverage other things. And some of our presenters have been doing shows for years, and they've literally built brands and record labels off of their shows. Or you do what Flight Facility has done and drop one mix every now and again, but they're absolutely massive and really planned out. And I think if you look around, there's not done many other mixes for other places. It's all been about this mix. Let me know what your strategy is around mixes in the comments. I'd love to know. Number 4, let's talk about the branding. When it comes to a series, you can build a brand around it, like they've done with these decade mixes. Because there's more than just Tech House Bangers or DMV Rollers around the mix. There's more of an idea, there's a strategy, there's a plan. So you can make a brand around it. There's artwork you can make for it. You can kind of come up with the concepts. You can make more content around it. For instance, with this artwork, it's all based around the decade and what's happened in that decade and the kind of news clips and the life bits that have gone on in the decade as well as the music. And they've also made Instagram Reels where they've clipped bits of audio and video that pushes the mix as well from a kind of short form content. Step number 5, how do you take this mix even further? I mean, they do massive on SoundCloud. Like I said, some of them have had hundreds of thousands of plays. Well, what you do is you make a visualizer for YouTube and you put it on YouTube too. And they have literally edited all the clips together with the music and made a visual version of this mix which lives on YouTube, and that's had so many plays as well. They've also dropped their own app which is full of remixes but full of the mix series. It gives you more depth around the track and the mixes and the kind of videos that they're including in this mix, which is flipping amazing. And finally, they've taken the Decade Mix series on the road and performed it live because people want to see what they've listened to, which means they're getting bookings worldwide from this series. So it leads to DJ bookings because of the tens of hundreds of thousands of plays on this series. They've also had some epic releases of Musically from themselves as well, and it's a combined package. Have you listened to the decades? Which one was your favourite? I think mine was probably the 62, 72, 72, 82. There's also the 2002 where they've got the Chemical Brothers ones in there. That's quite cool. Which is your favourite of the decade mixes? I'd love to know in the comments. Let me know the years. As ever, let me know 3 artists that you want me to pick out to do in this series as well. If there's one you want me to break down, let me know in the comments and I'm definitely going to do that for you. Go and check out the next one of these series. I'm going to put it up here. Go and watch that. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel and I'll see you over there in that one.